I get lots of questions from folks who are asking how to change chords faster because they are frustrated when you can't change the chords fast enough to keep up with the song. And it can be discouraging. In my Relax and Learn Guitar membership, most recently, our member John asked the question, how can I get better at changing my chords faster so I can have more fun playing the guitar? And in this lesson, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Hi, I'm Kevin from Relax and Learn Guitar, where I help music lovers over 40 become the guitar players they've always wanted to be. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about changing those chords faster. I've got 3 exercises you can use to do that, so let's get started. So when you come down to it, there's 2 skills you really need to learn to change those chords smooth and fast. The first skill is just knowing the chord shapes. So I'm going to give you an exercise on how to practice learning those chord shapes, because you got to fret the chord shape before you can ever change it, right? And the second skill is just the speed and getting used to and the muscle memory of changing those chords back and forth. I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do to help that too. So exercise number 1, we're going to be changing chords between 2 chords for this lesson. I'm going to be playing an E minor chord and a G. Now you can do this with any 2 chords that you want. It doesn't have to be the E minor and G, but if you're going to play along with me today, those are the 2 chords that I'm using. So like I said earlier, I get lots of questions from students about this problem. If you'd like to learn more about the full access membership, then click the link in the pinned comment below and learn all the things you get there and all the great perks. So we're going to play that E minor chord and we're going to switch it to that G chord. So I want you to grab your guitar and do this with me. Play that E minor, G, E minor, G, E minor, G. Now, if you had trouble keeping up with that, I was doing about maybe 4 or 5 seconds in between those chord changes. So if you had trouble keeping up, that's just something that's going to show you that you need to work on learning those chord shapes. So first exercise is to see if you can switch those chords in those 5 seconds, because then you'll know that you've got those chords down well enough to move on to the next exercise. If you like this lesson, you'll probably like more of my lessons. Would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Come back often for the lessons and the live streams. We work hard to bring these lessons to you each week, and subscribing to the channel would really help us keep doing that. So exercise number 2, we're going to fret that E minor chord and strum it once. You're going to take your hand completely off the guitar neck. You're going to tap your guitar. You're going to go back and play that E minor chord and strum down 1 time. Take your hand off, tap, go back to that E minor. Off, tap your guitar. Do that 20 times. I'm gonna, if you need to pause the video here, that's great, but do that 20 times. E minor down 1 time, tap your guitar. E minor 1 time, tap your guitar. All right, and then the second part of this exercise, you guessed it, we're going to do the G chord. Fret and strum down 1 time on that G. Take your hand completely off the guitar neck, tap your guitar, go back to the G. Hand completely off the neck, tap your guitar, back to the G. And you're going to do that 20 times as well. And then finally, the last part of this exercise is we're going to go back and forth between those chords. E minor, tap, G, tap. E minor, tap, G, tap. And what this is doing, it's really cementing the fact that you know that chord shape, because you're taking, before you could want to talk about that next too, you can leave your hand up here. If you're taking your hand all the way off your guitar, that's just showing you that you can fret that chord cleanly just out of nowhere. And that's why we take our hand off our guitar and tap there. And over time, you'll get faster at doing this. So fret that E minor, tap, and then G, tap, and do that 20 times. So as you see, repetition and doing things over and over is kind of where you have to start. Now you don't want to get bored with it. That's why 20 times is kind of like a good number to hit, and then move on to something different so you don't get bored with it. But it's going to really benefit you over time. Now that you're changing those chords faster, you're going to want to play some more songs. So stick around. At the end of this lesson, I'll show you how to play 3 songs using just 4 chords. So now in exercise number 3, we're going to do a little bit of strumming with these chord changes. And one thing you want to really do, and it helps me a lot, is to visualize the 2 chords that you're playing and what that next chord is going to look like for your hand. So we're doing an E minor and a G here, but like I said, you could do this with any 2 chords you're learning or practicing. You just want to kind of visualize that chord change and that shape and what that's going to look like. So for this exercise, we're going to be strumming down 1 time on that E minor, 1, 2, and we're going to count to 4 still. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to that G. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor. 2, 3, 4. G. 2, 3, 4. Now, do this really slow if you have to, just to get used to changing those chords correctly. So correctly first, the members hear me say this all the time, learn it correctly first and quickly later. Now, what the strumming does is you can strum down 1 time, and then while you're counting to 2, 3, 4, that's when you're going to be moving your hand. And for this E minor to the G, you can see right away, you can leave your index finger where it's at. So for that E minor chord, your index finger is on the 5th string, 2nd fret. To switch to that G, you're going to lift up your middle finger, careful where you point it, and you're going to place it back down on the 6th string, 3rd fret. Then you're going to take your ring finger, and you're going to press down on the 1st string, 3rd fret, and that's the G shape. And you can see, moving from E minor to G, it's moving 2 fingers, not 3. This index finger becomes what we call a pivot. Because it's staying in one place, you're pivoting from E minor to G. So whatever 2 chords you're using, just look at those kind of logically and see what that shape change is going to look like, and kind of figure out, like this E minor G, you know that index finger is important. Depending on the chord you're playing, there'll be different fingers, obviously, that become, lifted up or left in place. So the first part of the exercise is the 1, 2, 3, 4. Spend that time changing to that next shape. So for the last part of this exercise, we're going to strum down on the first 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just going to speed up, right? It's going to give you just a little less time than the 3 count. You only get a 2 count this time to change that chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you really want to challenge yourself, just keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start out slow, move up the speed later, and it's really going to pay off. Once you get those 2 chords under your belt, either the E minor and G or whichever ones you're working on, you're going to want to use those chords to play songs. It's a great way to learn the guitar. Personally, I think it's the best way to learn guitar because you have a context. So check out this lesson above here. You can learn 3 songs using just 4 chords. They'll help a lot with your chord changing and your rhythm, and they're a ton of fun to play, so check that out. And I'll see you guys for the next lesson. Remember, you're never too old to learn. 2, 3, 4. 2,